So welcome, you guys. People are just kind of rolling in now. We've got a few more people. I want you to ask questions. I want you to ask them in the chat, and we'll just we'll roll with it and see how today goes. And if you like this format, maybe we'll do more of them. Okay, so first, actually, let me just see if people are using Zoom. Good morning, Randy, Maggie, hello, how you doing? So I have two monitors, so I'm looking at the chats over here, and I'm looking at my presentation here. And who's new to me? Is anybody new? So I always want to let people know about myself, just in case you're wondering, how did I get here? Who the heck is this person, right? So basically, my name is Darci LaRocque, and I have been coaching oh my goodness, for the thousands of agents since about 2010. I was on TV for 3 seasons teaching tech tips. I've written articles on newspapers and magazines, and I've been on radio shows, and I've spoken at countless real estate conferences across North America. Maybe that's where we've met, right? I do a lot of stuff online as well to help agents with their business system. I won the prestigious Top 100 Women Changing the Shape of Real Estate by REP magazine. And here's the kicker, I'm not an agent. And you think, well, how do I know about your business systems and what the problems are? Well, you're really like any other self-employed person or small business, right? And you might not think so, but you are. And my husband is an agent. So I started years ago looking at his stuff and figuring out how can we streamline his business, make it work better. And then I found that it isn't really a Terry problem, it's an industry problem. You guys don't, and when you get out of real estate school, they don't teach you how to run a business, how to set up a business. And so that is literally what I do to help agents. So I know your lingo because that's all I do now. And my husband is one. And I also, I absolutely love technology, probably the stuff that you hate. So let me just, actually I've got a weird thing happening here. Let me just see what's going on here. Why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? I don't know. Okay. And what's else? What did I miss here? Oh yeah, I have hundreds and hundreds of success stories of helping agents. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's talk a little bit during this COVID about little victories, maybe big victories. Do you have any, I like people to maybe daily, but at very least weekly, celebrate the little victories, whether it's work or not. And like for me, we've been doing yoga. Do you believe this? I talked Terry into doing yoga. Let me just look at, I've been keeping track. Today we did it this morning. It was day 41 of yoga every day for 30 to 45 minutes. Pretty cool, right? And also the other thing that I have done is, oh, sorry, everyone needs to send their questions. Yeah, do you full screen? Sorry, I'm just looking at some of the questions here. Hey, you guys, good morning. Another thing that I'm doing is I have an 8-week course that I took last fall, and I'm redoing it because I have a little bit more time now. And so you just kind of pick up different things when you do something the second time, right? Something maybe you missed the first time. So it's been a really great experience for me. How about you guys? What have you been doing? Tell me. Let's see, Darci, can you full screen your presentation? I think it is. I think it's on your end. Ray, is that correct? It probably looks okay to everybody else, yes? So again, learning Zoom, there's little buttons that you can make it full or you can not. So it's probably your end. Okay, let's see here. Good morning, everybody. Nice. Okay, let's keep going here. So, and great. So Karen, you're doing tons of webinar and training. Isn't it a great time now to take advantage of, there's so much information out there to do training, to do webinars. I as well am attending more webinars and training. So it's a great thing to do. Okay, I've been trying to sell. Yes, still not seeing everyone's questions and comments. Yeah, there's a chat. So you should be able to see the chat. Let me just go back, you guys, for people who are new to Zoom. This is, oh, I got to go back all the way back here. There's a little button that kind of looks like this. Now Zoom's been changing things, but I still am sure that it looks like that for you guys. And that's where you can see people's questions. But there's an option just to send it to us or to send it to everybody. So if you send it to everybody, everybody can see your question or comment, or you can keep it private and I won't even say your name if you ask a question. I would say, don't be afraid. There's no judgment here there's no stupid questions ever. I've been doing this for I always hate saying this, like since 1990, 95, 94, something like that. So a very long time. And I've learned how all this stuff integrates over decades and decades of this. So how would you know how to do stuff? You sell real estate. So I'm on the tech side, right? So please just, just nothing is silly. Just ask questions. Okay. We've started teaching karate class over Zoom and attending classes from everywhere. No way. That's so cool. I had another client who was teaching, not Zumba, although someone in our building is doing Zumba classes. I broke my knee and I've had like 8 surgeries. I tried, I couldn't do it. I was very sad. I can't do lateral moves. It sucked, but it's so cool, right? Because that's what we're doing with the yoga. We're doing an app. It's not live, but it's cool. That's so cool. I love it. Okay. All right, let's go back. Let's get going here. Ray, I don't know if you're there, if you're helping people with, if they can't see the full screen. Okay, everyone's good. Okay, so again, I'm gonna go through these questions. Let me show you what I saw that you guys wrote down. And this is, I literally copied and pasted and left out the ones that were very similar. So, get more deals. Well, duh, right? Okay. Quick tech hacks, I'm guessing, that you wanted. Content to keep in touch with clients, organize your systems, how to set up a system, how to reach out to clients and when, calendar not working. I'm not sure if these are yours. Some of these are vague and I need more information, but integration, spend less time doing more, and a better CRM. We'll talk about that for sure. Cleaning up your systems, starting my CRM I have had but never used, single email setup. I probably do know what you mean by that. We'll talk about that. Virtual showing methods, that's a good one too. Options to reach more clients but take precautions. Yes, exactly. Everything. Does free email hurt my business? Yes, it does. Okay. And what is the other one? And get more organized. Okay. So does that all resonate with you guys? So what I'll do is, let me just see here. Started teaching. Okay. So I'll kind of go from top down. If you have other questions, please ask them in the chat, raise your hand, or say you want to talk live. I don't always like webinars like this because I feel like I'm talking at you. I'd rather talk with you in the chat or make your video, turn on your video, however it works for you guys, okay? So let's first talk about getting more deals. Now, one of the things that I know, so I have a program for agents. I run them through a 7-week program and it's very systematically organized, fixing a lot of these things. But one of the things that I found over the course of helping many agents and talking to agents at conferences, and of course we hang out with a lot of agents, is a lot of time agents, to get more deals, you're spending money to do that. You're either trying to get a lead gen website, or you're trying to do Facebook ads or Google ads or Instagram ads, or you're somehow trying to chase new business. And when I'm talking to agents, one of the first things that I'll say is, okay, there is a time and place for that, maybe. But my first thing is, if you've been in business for 5, 10, and I know you guys, a lot of you guys here have been in business for a long time, 5, 10, 20, 30, 35 years. And then the next question I ask is, well, okay, so that's fine about that other stuff. But first off, what about those past clients that you've had for all these years? How are you keeping in touch with them? And when I started doing this years ago, the very first time I asked a veteran agent this, I was surprised by the answer. They looked kind of stunned, like, I'm not keeping in touch with them. Like, why would I? And I was new at the time, and I was like, well, why wouldn't you? That didn't make sense to me. I thought, okay, well, maybe it's just weird industry thing. So then I would have more clients and I'd ask the same thing, and same thing. Everybody kept looking at me like I was crazy. You guys are crazy. You are leaving gold on the table, okay? If you do not have a business system set up so that you can easily keep in touch with your past clients, okay? And the type of past clients, that's the other thing too. Here's a quick hack, number 2, is that past clients aren't all the same, right? Buyers are treated differently than sellers. And if they're sellers, are they then buyers as well? You know what I mean? Like sometimes people send out all the newsletter to clients, and they're all about, I don't know, staging your home. Do I care about staging my home if I bought a home and I'm happy to be there? What do you think? I don't think so. So it actually segues into the next part where it's talking about content to keep in touch with clients. I think you have to be very systematic in what you're doing for your clients, what you're sending out to your client. Oh, there you go. That's my mom. Should I answer it? That would embarrass her. Sorry, turn off the phone when you're doing a webinar. Okay, let me just see how's everybody doing here. Any questions? Ray, are you monitoring? I'm just always worried with Ray because he's got this power issue. Are you okay monitoring the questions while I?
Yeah, I'm still fine. Yeah, battery. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so content, keeping in touch with clients. So Ray is also going to put. We'll follow up with you guys with a couple links as well. You guys hear this? Hey Google. Oh my goodness. I don't usually have to turn her off, but she thought I said, hey Google, so I did not. So you should be on my newsletter, or you should be in my Facebook group, and we'll put the links below, but also what I've been doing for people, and then also working more with the people who are in my program, is about the content that you should be sending out to your people. Well, it's a crappy time, but you know what? You actually can use this to your advantage about, hey, how you doing? Sending out email. We gave out this company called Long Creations, created this time capsule for kids, and we're just working on it, kind of editing it, doing a time capsule for adults. And that thing was gold. We sent it out saying, hey, you probably got kids are bored, print this off, share it with your friends and your family. And we added a little logos to ours, when I say ours, Terry's, but we've shared that with you guys on in our Facebook group, and also to the newsletter people. And then I did another one recently, and I actually said, borrow the content, feel free to use it, because it's good for you, but you can also take my content that I give you in my newsletters, and I always say, please share with your clients. I want to help you guys, and then you create your own newsletter and send it out to your database. Okay, does that make sense? So I really want you to, I'm going to just say, like, this is the one thing I don't love about Exact, and I can't remember. Let me just look at your, there is some people using Exact, I think. No, maybe not. I can't even remember. Oh, no, some. Okay. Exact kind of gets you insane because they have this newsletter, which they kind of do, but it's all about real estate. And so I don't love that. I think, you know, create content that is valuable to all your people, not just people, like they always have it like staging or stuff about your home. And I don't know if that's, especially if you're in a specific area and they're, okay, let's pretend it's 6 months from now, and I hope to goodness that we're out of this situation. You could do about weekly or a monthly events happening in your community, right? People always want to know about that kind of stuff, or something that's going on around your community. Community events are always good. Always answer your mom. That is, yes, I'm going to be in trouble later, right? Okay, let's just get through this. Organize your systems and how to set up a system. There's a bunch of system questions. So I encourage you guys, I do a whole webinar on how to set up your systems. I'll send you the link. It might be the best 45, 50 minutes of your life about how you should be setting up your systems in a systematic way, and how things are messing you up. And that's my thing. That's what I do. And so, but basically, if I'm going to talk about systems for agents, it really is from top down. Okay. So most of the time agents have a website, right? So you own a domain. And so the next level is that you have an email address, and this is where everything kind of falls apart. And so if you are an agent that has a Yahoo or an AOL or a Coxnet.email or a Shaw and Telus for the Canadians, that's horrible. It's absolutely horrible to run your business, or not, even if it's a personal email. They're absolutely horrible. And in that webinar, I talk about in more detail why. And it really is to do with something you probably know, that POP or IMAP, you probably actually don't even know what that means, but it's old technology. So if you're running a POP email or an IMAP email, you are harming your business because of the way it doesn't actually sync properly. Now, Ray's putting the info in there, but we'll follow up with you, because I think we set this one up. I did a Gmail tips tricks the other day, and I have a great assistant, Ray, and I set it up because I think it was at night and I thought, oh, I want to do this. And I set it up and I set it up all wrong. And then we couldn't follow up with people. But again, if you go to my Facebook page, we have actually, you know what? I'm going to show you because this is super cool that you can do now. I'm going to go to my Facebook CIFA page. We call it Systems Improvement for Agents. That's why it's called CIFA. They have this really cool thing that I actually have not been paying attention to. It's been around for a bit, but we actually haven't used it yet. So here over to the right, now it'll look a little different for you because I'm logged on as me and this is my group. But if you want to look at any of the replays, any webinar replays, or I do Facebook Live. So if we tap on here, it'll organize in order of replays. So this is the Gmail one. If you're a Gmail user, this was so popular, you might want to go rewatch this. And if you ever have questions about it, you just can comment below and Ray or myself or other people in this group will answer you. So this is a really cool feature if you have a group of your own to put things. Now, literally, we just did this 2 days ago, I think, Ray, maybe. And we're just gonna, I think we're probably just start from now going forward rather than going back for a long time because I do a lot of stuff to help agents. So in all my groups, we're trying to do this. We're trying masterclass. So if we tap on the masterclass, that'll have the link to the webinar that I do think everybody should attend to understand proper business setup. Okay, that makes sense? Okay, any questions? I think we're doing okay. I don't see any questions. So basically, what did I say? I was talking about website. Now, if you don't have a website, I do believe that everybody should have a website. And part of that is about being legitimate, right? And I don't think it should be a page off your brokerage site. It's because that's theirs. And I know that there might be broker owners here, but I never recommend that any agent uses any of the brokerage emails or the brokerage profiles. If you can stop it, or you should have your own website. It should be yours that you own. Your email should be yours. It should not be on the brokerage, because when shit hits the fan and you leave, and I know everything's great now, but I can tell you, agents come to me many times after the fact saying, oh my goodness, now I need help because, I'm leaving wherever and all my stuff is with them. Well, do you really think they're going to maybe, but do you think they're not going to just cut it off at a certain time? And if you haven't figured out how to get the data off, isn't it better to own it yourself? You should own your own contact records. You should own your own CRM information. You should own your own stuff. Okay, you really need to look at who owns your stuff. When you're using a CRM that is given to you by the brokerage, if you ever leave, whose stuff is it? You just need to know that. Okay, so I always try and get agents to think about in the future, because it's all happy now, but stuff happens. Stuff just happens. You just don't know. Like sometimes stuff happens and you need to leave, and then you're screwed. Okay, now you have to come to me and get it. So here's a tip for you. If you're in that situation, well, I'm going to give you an option to kind of book a call with me later if you want, for me to look at your systems and give you suggestions and see if you're a good fit for our program. But also, if you are using a brokerage email address, we need to fix that. Okay. All right. Calendar not working. I don't know if the person's here who asked that, but is anyone, so here's a question for you guys. Again, I like this to be interactive, so please feel free to chat. So who else has calendar issues? Just say yes or no in the chat. And then if there's enough people, I'll just start talking about why you might be having calendar issues. So is anyone having calendar issues? And I'm guessing what they mean by that when they say calendar isn't working is that you add a calendar appointment on your phone, but it isn't everywhere else. Does that make sense? So it's or vice versa. You add a calendar appointment in your CRM and it's not everywhere else. And so then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be somewhere, but I can't remember where and where did I add it? Is it on Outlook or Macmail? Is it on my iPhone or my Android, or is it in my CRM and nothing's talking? And you're like, does that sound familiar? Okay, let me see. Intermittent, yes, no. Well, so everyone's a bit, some people do, some people don't. The calendar problem, Apple people have a lot of calendar issues because of the way that Apple, when you set up your stuff, you say yes, 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 or somebody set it up for you. Yes, 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 yes. And it really is. And that's where I look, how I help agents. I literally look at all your stuff, everything that you touch, because more than likely, I've never seen anybody 100% set up properly so everything talks, and it's possible. So I look at your iCloud, I look at your Shaw or your TELUS or your AOL or your Hotmail or every single email account and see how it's configured. And then we get it set up properly on a proper business email. On every single email address there is, and again, the full webinar, I go into it in way more detail, but every single email address has email folder structure if you use that, has contacts, and it has calendar attached to it. Okay, whether it's POP, IMAP, or a proper business server. So there's the problem, right? So you have Apple that has all that. You've got your Shaw that has all that. You've got your AOL that has all that, your Yahoo, your whatever. If you've got 4 or 5 email addresses, can you imagine why it's confusing? Because you've got it set up, and it's probably set up differently on each device, and everything you touch, it's not all the same. So does that make sense? That's a reason that things don't communicate properly. Let me just see. Let me just read some of these. Sorry, I have my database, or if they want one, or not many still do, but small percentage. Not count. I'm still using my personal calendar and need to get a calendar that works across devices. Yes. So here's the thing. I'm going to talk about this because, and again, if I really want you to watch the webinar because I go into all this in more detail and screenshots and everything else. But when people say, when I say to someone, I'll say, oh, what's your email? What email are you using? And I mean like Shaw or TELUS, and people will say, oh, Outlook. Okay, understand this for email, calendar, contacts. Outlook is just a viewer of the stuff up here. Any email can be looked at on Outlook. Any email can be looked at on, or email contacts calendar. Okay, email, I'm always talking about email contacts calendar folder. Can be looked at Outlook, can be looked at on Macmail, can be looked at on a device, on a web browser. So, right, it just depends on what you're using to view it. Calendars, you can download hundreds of calendar apps to view a Shaw calendar, a AOL calendar, a Hotmail calendar, you know what I mean? But the problem is that if it's Shaw, if it's on your phone as a calendar and you update it on your phone, it does not talk anywhere else because POP email does not talk to anything else. That's the problem, right? Contacts, you update a contact on your phone, right? It does, if you're, again, POP, I'm talking about POP email and IMAP. If you update on your phone a contact, it's not going to update your Outlook, your Macmail, your webmail. If it's on a proper business server, set up and configured properly, I update my phone contact, it updates everywhere, and vice versa. Okay, any questions on that? Let me just see. I own my own emails, good, and my website, but DocuSign was a better deal to sign up with the brokerage. Okay, so that's different. So DocuSign is a document signing. That's not really anything to do, well, it is business system setup. I used to teach a DocuSign course at our board for many years until they dropped it, oh, I don't know now, like a year ago or something. I did it for 3-4 years, something like that. So I'm very familiar with DocuSign. We also have AuthentiSign. There's also from our American people, I know you've got lots of other document signing. All that means is on any document signing platform, you should be logged on and set up with your business email, not your Yahoo, because when you're or whatever, your personal email, because when you're sending the documents to your clients, you're sending it from something that I think looks unprofessional, right? And may more than likely end up in a spam folder. So you want to consider, DocuSign's awesome, document signing is awesome in general. So let me just see. Move to a new brokerage. What are your recommendations with previous signed documents and emails? Okay, so let me just read this question again. I own my own emails, website, etc., but DocuSign was a better deal to sign up with the brokerage. Now I moved to a new brokerage. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, what do you see? People move around. What are your recommendations with my previously signed it shouldn't make a difference. So here's the thing. Well, let's talk DocuSign, but place whatever you use when I say DocuSign. When you register for DocuSign, and honestly, whatever the price is for DocuSign, I was like, who cares? It's more than makes up. If you're familiar with DocuSign, you love DocuSign, it's fantastic, then just pay it and just change the email, or your email should have been the same. So you don't get the same special deal that you got with the other brokerage, but so you pay the difference and just use DocuSign. All your stuff stays there, right? For whatever it is, whether it's, I can't remember DocuSign's pricing, so let's just say it's $300. Is $300 worth it to keep all your stuff, to not have to learn new software, to, you know how it works because you got the mobile version, you understand it links with web forms, you can update, you can go from web forms to DocuSign. Why learn another system, right? But I mean, it's obviously up to you, but there is a way that you'd have to download each one individually and you would talk to DocuSign. So good question, right? So again, why is that? That's a problem because there is a switch of brokerages, right? So thank goodness that she owns her own data. So when she switched brokerages, that part's not a problem. All you have to do is change the brokerage address on your footers or headers on your website and social media or any other platforms, but you don't have to redo everything, right? That makes sense? Okay, let's continue on. Excuse me, I have to take a drink of water. And okay, let's see what's next. Integration. Well, I kind of talked about that already. And then spend less time doing more in a better CRM. Okay. So here's the thing that I know about CRMs. I'm in a lot of the agent forums, and I find it really fascinating when someone says, what CRM are you using? Stop asking that question, because you're going to get 500 different answers and they don't know. Honest to goodness, you don't know as an agent the stuff I know as a tech person. Because everybody wants your money in the CRM. So everybody will say, yeah, it will import your contacts for you, we'll import your spreadsheets, we'll do whatever. But wouldn't it make more sense, right? And this is where I come in. Wouldn't it make more sense to be able to, in the CRM that you use, to update the contact in the CRM when you're doing whatever, and it updates your phone contact and your Mac mail contacts and your Outlook contacts and your webmail contacts, because that business email is set up properly, configured properly, and set up on the CRM properly. So magic, you update it, it updates here, you update here, it updates there. Does that make sense? Because most of the time what I see with agents using a CRM is they're paying for a CRM and not using it. I've seen agents pay for a CRM for 10, 15 years and all they're doing is managing their contacts. That's ridiculous. You know how much money you waste? There's huge value in CRMs, huge value, and most agents don't use it properly, don't have it set up properly, don't have it configured properly. Does that make sense? A CRM is gold. And I cannot stress this enough. Everything has to be set up properly in order for a CRM to work. Once you have that, seriously, you send out an email blast to people. They will remember who you are. You set up specific drips for specific types of clients. They will remember who you are. You will make money from your past clients for repeat and referral business. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I see all these agents who've been around hustling, trying to get more business when they're just totally ignoring their past clients. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But when I ask the question, it's because they say they don't know how. Well, you know how you do it? You have a proper setup, you have a proper email, you have a proper contacts and calendar, all that configured properly, linked to your cloud stores to get your files and folders and documents and pictures and personal stuff. And then the CRM is integrated with all that stuff too. Do you understand what I mean? Like, this is powerful, powerful stuff. A CRM can be life-changing, but I am also not going to kid you that there's work involved. I think that's why people don't do it, is because there's work involved. If I said to you, you know what? You're going to make $100,000 by setting up a drip campaign. Wouldn't you go, oh, I'm on it, whether it takes a week or whatever? You'd be on it. But yet people don't do it. They're happy to just pay someone else to try and get new leads that are, you know, whatever. Let me just look, hold on. Do you always use the same CRM for your clients? So here's another, that's a great question. So what we do when the program that I help agents with, we do pick a CRM that we know works. And when I'm looking at any software, I'm going to tell you what I look at from a technical side. And CRMs, obviously, that's what I'm looking at. When I first started working with Terry way back when, and we were making his business be more efficient, we were using Top Producer, and I wanted to shoot myself. Honest to goodness, I wanted to shoot myself because every time we did something, it wouldn't work. And I would be on the hold, and then the support person would say, go do this, and I would go do that, and then it still wouldn't work, and I'd phone back, and another support person would answer, and they'd say, well, why are you doing that? You shouldn't be doing that. And things weren't syncing into any, right? So back then, what I did is I started thinking, okay, so now I kind of understand what the issue is with agents, and I, why a lot of people use Top Producer. If you use it, great, but I find you don't. Okay, so I say stop switching CRMs. Okay, I see agents do this all the time. When I'm talking to them, they'll say, oh yeah, I've used a CRM. I'll say, okay, well, what are you using? Well, I've tried Top Producer, I've tried Revolve, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this, and like five CRMs are like, okay, so that's a lot of time. If you're actually using a CRM and understanding how it works, 5 switches, that's crazy. Pick one, understand it, use it, go to their webinars, get it configured properly, and understand it like wholly on what you need to do to use it. One CRM. Stop listening to the noise out there when someone says, oh, mine's better. What do they know? Honestly, what do they know? When agents say, oh, this is great, good for them. But do you know how they're using it? When you ask in a forum, hey, what's the best CRM? When Joe says, whatever, Top Producer, let's say, you don't know, are they using it? Are they just paying for it? Are they setting up drip campaigns? How are they managing it? Does that make sense? Because I see it over and over and over again. It makes me very sad that people keep paying these companies, but they're not using the software. It's like a gym membership. Well, not now, but you know what I mean? Before COVID, it was like a gym membership where you keep paying, but you never go. Well, that wasn't, doesn't even make sense. I mean, it's good for the gym and it's good for the CRM vendors, right? Stop switching stuff. So let me see, what CRM do you recommend that works? That's a great question. And I'm not even going to answer that here because I have to look at your systems and how you've got things set up. And I work with agents, but you have to be willing to change. So we'll put a link in a little bit later and we'll follow up that if you want to book a 30-minute session with me where I can look at your stuff and it's a good fit, you can maybe roll through my 7-week program. And in that, we configure it all for you so it's all working properly. And in the end, one update to all things, and it doesn't matter what devices you are using. Okay, access to all your files sitting on your computer or on any device that you have. You update a contact, it gets update everywhere, including the CRM. You update the calendar in your CRM, it updates your calendar on your phone, on everything. Everything is talking to each other. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions on that? No, you guys are quiet. Okay. Let me just see. Oh, what does it cost with it's like your plant, Ryan? No, the consult's free. I'm here to help you guys. I'll look at your stuff. I want you to be able to, well, I'll talk about it in a little bit, but when I say free, it's not for everybody. You got to be a top producing agent. You got to be willing to change. I don't want to waste your time or mine if I look at your systems and I say we need to do stuff and you're like, no, I'm not going to. What's the point? If you're going to stay stuck in what you're doing, then stay stuck. I want agents who are willing to change and get all this stuff finally fixed and start actually keeping in touch with past clients. Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, what else? Let's see, cleaning up systems. I kind of talked about that, but you know what? I'm going to show you mine. Just a sec here. Can you see my desktop? Are you like, Ray, can you see my desktop?
Yep, all good. Okay,
so this is my desktop and people are probably going, what? So this is also something we look at when we help agents through our 7-week program, because what I used to do back in the day, and it's way more fun doing this remotely, but back in the day I worked for healthcare. Kind of happy I'm not there now, but I worked for healthcare and I ran email servers and helped way back when in the beginning of my career. I would go and help people with their desktop support. It was not fun. People did the strangest things, and so, which is all good, but I've learned all the stuff now. So basically, if your computer looks like a dog's breakfast, like your desktop, your screen here, a lot of times that slows the computer down. And then the flip side is, if you look at I'm going to open up just so you can see this. Let me just flip this over here. There we go. Okay. It might be Dropbox or Google, whatever you use. Every single thing that I have is under either my drive or shared drive. You might be using Dropbox. That's one of the things that when I'm working with agents, I'm particular in certain things. You got to do certain things for sure, or things won't work. But with cloud storage, if you love Dropbox, I'm okay with that. But what I find is that people don't, when they say they use Dropbox, they're not. If you're not paying for cloud storage, then your computer is probably not set up correctly, because if this is where I see this all the time, if your computer dies right now, answer in the chat. Would you be hooped? Would you be like, oh, I lost all my personal files? Sometimes that's even more valuable, my photos, my whatever, but also your business files, because you are supposed to keep them, right? If your computer dies right now, whether it's a Mac or a PC, are you hooped? And I see this over and over again, that people are hooped. For me, it's sad. I'll have to go and get a computer. But all I do is download I'm using FileStream. I download FileStream and everything comes back. No big deal. All right, does that make sense? And then I could go anywhere. If I go up here, let me just go back up here. I'm going to show you. I'll go to my actual Gmail. So this is Google Gmail. I'm just going to show you my inbox, because this literally, I have 12 things in my inbox. So you want to go back, if you're interested in that, you want to go back to the replays, okay? And you want to go find that Gmail one if you're a Google user, okay? That makes sense? Okay. So let's get back. Let me just see if there's questions. You hate your desktop. Well, here's the problem with the desktop too, is that if you have all these folders on your desktop, or presentations or pictures or videos, that is slowing your computer down. And a lot of people, you just don't know how to fix that. Well, we help you fix that in this 7-week program. Because what happens is, if you understand, whether it's a Mac or a PC, every time you log on and bring stuff up, it has to bring up that desktop. That's part of your, what we call a profile. And so if you got a lot of crap on the profile, and the profile is really big, and that's on your desktop, that is slowing down your computer. Every time it has to bring up all this stuff. So we fix that and show you why that's impacting your business every day, right? Let me just see. You back up on Passport. Nice. That's a Mac, I believe. Which also brings me to talk about, again, backups, is that before, people used to have, I think Mac has Time Capsule, and there's some external hard drives that you can get to back up things. But what I find is people kind of forget about it and they don't back it up. Or I'll say, well, when was the last backup you did of your whole computer? They are like, oh, I don't know, 8 months ago. Well, you know what? Then you're going to lose 8 months of data. It's just not smart anymore. Like we used to, back in the day, and it's been years, we used to have an external hard drive and back stuff up to it. We don't now, because we're using cloud storage and everything's up in the cloud. We don't even have to worry about it. And the next question we'll probably have is from someone, is to say, well, how secure is the cloud? Well, if I can't have access to my stuff, there's probably more issues going around the world that I'm not too worried about my data. Because how it works with servers, again, remember, I used to actually be a network manager. I really didn't like it. I did it for years. I like people. So with servers, it's called redundancy. So we would have, not everything sits on one server in one location, right? So what happens is it's across a bunch of servers across it. With Google, it'd be probably across the world, or across North America, or probably across the US. And so if one server goes down, I'm going to do really simple. A flag goes up and the other server says, oh, we better kick in and bring up the stuff that was on that server over here so your data is not lost. So it's across a bunch of platforms, right? I'm never worried about that. And again, if something happens to Dropbox or whatever, and things go down, we have a lot bigger problems than that. You know what I mean? I hope that never happens. Okay. All right. Let's keep, let me just go back here. Cleaning up systems. So yes, cleaning up systems. So that's kind of general, but I do think that every once in a while you should go, like we do it, and I do it. I probably do it every 6 months to a year. I'll go back and look at my folder structure and see, do we need this anymore? So actually, it's like, this is what I'll show you. Oh, let me go back to here. So this is a good example. Like we have shared drives, so I have an assistant, and this is what we've been using now. This is our old one, and you can see we haven't looked at it since 2019. So at some point I'd go through it, probably delete it, or if I was having space issues at all, I might then put that on an external hard drive to never look at again. Okay, maybe, but I'm going to go through this at some point and just delete stuff that I don't need and keep the stuff that I want to keep. You know what I mean? Okay, so clean up your stuff. Let me just go over here. Starting my CRM, I have had but never used. You know, again, okay, if you're using a CRM and it's not integrated properly, I want you to book a call with me. Again, we'll follow up with you. We'll have a link at the end as well. But it's super important not to have multiple databases. So you shouldn't have a standalone database on your CRM, because this is what happens. You go and meet Joe and you update Joe's phone number on your phone. And then 2 days later, you're in your CRM and you want to go phone Joe and you're like, oh, it's not there. Where did I update it? Because none of your stuff's talking. Right? Was it on your phone? Was it on your Outlook, Mac Mail? Was it where? I don't remember. Which one's right? I know what happens, right? Like it's so confusing. So if you're going to start a CRM, which you should, every agent should be using a CRM. It is, I can't even tell you, it's your gold. It's a gold mine to keep in touch with your past clients, to have a proper sequence for your current clients. It's an unbelievable thing to have done. Okay. All right. Let's just see what else. Someone else said single email setup. I think I kind of covered that, right? But again, what we help agents with is taking that, all the stuff you have done, because people have done, listen, I'll tell you a funny story. Is when Terry first started his business a long time ago. And this is what I do for a living. And corporately, I have set up systems and made them all work and sync. And so when Terry became an agent, you know, I wasn't really paying attention to it. That's cool. And every once in a while, you know, we have a meeting and I try and help him, whatever. And then I was like, why are you using Yahoo? And back in the day, he's like, well, I don't know. That's what, I don't know. Like, why wouldn't I? Well, there's many reasons that you would not be using a personal free email account. And now we know some of them, right? So then I configured it to all work. But that's, so what we do is we know that most agents don't have, if you just have one email account, that's rare. I usually have like agents have like 5 email accounts. Apple users are the most messed up because you don't understand and haven't configured your Apple, your iCloud properly. I am not saying, I always have to preface it with that I'm not saying Apple is bad. It's not. It's the configuration of the device that's bad. That makes sense? And then I also, when I'm working with agents too, I'm not saying Outlook is bad or Mac Mail is bad. Usually they're configured wrong, and I try and get you not to use them because they're third-party software. That makes sense? So whenever I'm talking to agents and we're doing stuff, like we don't want any third-party stuff to be interfering, because we want to be direct from the source. Because Outlook users, if you're Outlook users, you know that you get messed up, right? The PST file gets too big, it starts slowing down, stuff isn't working, things aren't working, you know what I mean, right? And Mac Mail is the same. Yeah, it's Apple's product. So when you start adding emails to Mac Mail, you don't know what you're at. Like when you update a contact, is it updating iCloud contact or Gmail or Yahoo or AOL or whatever, what contact? If you can run your business personal life from one email like I do, my email is darci@darcitalks.com. I email my mom, my friends, my clients. Why wouldn't I? Why would I want to manage more than one? The only other reason is maybe to keep a secondary email, as some people like to sign up for newsletters and things like that. Okay, fine. But for business and personal, one email folder structure, one set of contacts, one set of calendars. You can have multiple calendars, but it's all attached to the one business email that is attached to DocuSign or PDF Expert or any other app like a CRM. And it has to be the proper business email on the proper business server, properly configured in order for all this to work. And this is where I help agents with. Okay, does that make sense? I don't know if you're here with that question about single email setup. Let me know if I didn't answer the question. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, virtual showings. I'd love your comments because I know what we're doing. What are you guys doing? And let's help each other. What are you doing for virtual showings? So you can use Zoom, which is cool. So while you're answering in the chat, let me talk a little bit about how you could use Zoom. And I know we've got people from the US and Canada and different regions allow different things. So I don't know about every single region in the world, obviously, but a lot of places have now a spot on your MLS, your system, where you can put a link. So what you could do if you're a Zoom user and you're going to do an open house, a virtual open house, you set it up like a webinar, just like this, okay? And then you turn on the video, and at 1 o'clock, let's say it's from 1 to 2, probably only need 1 to 2, but whatever, 1 to 3, whatever you're gonna do, you set it up, and that Zoom link to register goes into the open house spot. And that's where people register. So all the people are on, and you can walk through the house and show people what it's like. Does that make sense? You can do that on your phones. It's super cool. Let me just see. Oh, you guys are very quiet. What is going on? Nobody's doing any virtual showings? No? Are you there? Is everybody still there? Hi, my name is Darci. Who's here? I don't see anyone answering. Okay. You also could be doing, through FaceTime or something like that, but I do think Zoom is like for an open house. Also, what I have also seen is actually for showings is that you have the buyer's agent and the listing agent and the listing agent's client and the buyer's agent's client. And so you've got 4 people, right? And you want to make sure that all you guys are not answering phones. This is just like live, right? You want to go and do a Zoom session with the 4 people, and so nobody has to actually be at the house except the owner. The owner is going to walk through, and you want to prep your owner to say, walk through slowly. This is how you do it. And they go, and the buyer, the possible buyer, might say, hey, Joe, can I see the closet in more detail? So they'll go into the closet and open it up, right? Can you open the window so I can see the front? Yes, here it is. So there is a way to do open houses, or not open houses, showings like this as well, right? Does that make sense? Let me see. Who's said what? Let me just see what you guys have said. I tried a virtual walk through a house the other day, but it didn't work on my phone. Putting my phone on a stick would have helped. Yes, okay, actually that's a good, a selfie stick or some kind of, I have you know what, I'm just gonna show you this thing I have. I wasn't thinking about it, but it happens to be just in my closet here. Sorry, 1 second, where is it? Oh my goodness. Okay, and these aren't cheap, but oh my goodness, it's all caught up. So this guy is very cool. You can see this? No, I've totally forgotten the name of it. Oh, it's a CD. Oh my goodness, Ray, do you remember the name? Oh, Osmo. So what happens is you put your phone in here and it stabilizes it. It doesn't look like it right now as it's flipping around, but it actually balances it, and you can just walk around and talk, and it's a really smooth. You've probably seen people use this on videos. I haven't used this mine very much, but it really does, once you set it up, you can go around and talk and show people. This is really cool. And I'm gonna guess, I've had mine for a while. Oh, I think it was like $300. What's the name? Osmo, yes. I think it's called a DJI. It's coming back to me, old age. DJI Osmo, okay? So that's cool, but also, you could literally just use a selfie stick as well and walk through, but you don't need to see it yourself. They don't need to necessarily see you. They want to see the house. I'd just say, hey, hi, blah, blah, blah. Now let's look at the house, blah, 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 right? And walk through. Also, another thing, and I know a lot of you, like we literally, my husband bought a Matterport. Oh my goodness, I think we've had it 3 or 4 years. So that's been super helpful. And so that's 3D virtual tours where you can walk through the house. Those are very expensive, but if you can swing it in your business, like we more than made up the money on the virtual tours. Otherwise, a lot of the photography, easy for me to say, photography places now have that as well. Okay. Okay. In fact, the virtual tours took longer to sell. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, good. Never been a fan of Matterport. That's okay. You don't have to be. We love it. Some people don't. I know some people actually find it, they get a little nauseated by going through the Matterport like virtual stuff, but it is what it is, right? Can we record? Okay, like your idea for Zoom virtual open house. Can we record it and send it to the parties missing? Yeah, I don't see why you can't, because you have the option to record. Like I'm recording this and we will download it after and we'll upload it because it didn't go live, upload it to our various platforms. So yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think we covered most of this other stuff. So if not, if you want me to answer something specific, please ask in the question box, because otherwise, what's going on here? Oh yeah, the real cost of, oh yes?
Yeah, we have one question I think was missed from John.
Yeah.
Did I hear it was not advisable to use companies like GoDaddy for my domain name, and why?
No, I may have said something similar, but that's not exactly what I said. So great question. Let me explain what I would have meant by that. So you have to buy a domain from somewhere. So I'm going to just use, we have this website, and this is also where our webinar is, agenttechmastery.com. So let's pretend I've just bought this at GoDaddy. Okay. So I buy the domain from GoDaddy. Now GoDaddy will also say, hey, well, we also can host your website. We can also host your email. We can do a bunch of other things for a fee, or sometimes they'll say free. So if it's free, it's that other email where it's either forwarding, like nothing's free if it's good. You know what I mean? You got to pay for stuff. So also GoDaddy will say, well, we'll set up a business email where it's your name at yourdomain.com. And now you're attaching your stuff with them. I say, don't do that, because I've numerous times had to help agents fix that. So we want you to own it, not GoDaddy, not be on GoDaddy's site. We want you to own your own email, properly configured with the proper business, blah, 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 right? Does that make sense? So that's not what I said. GoDaddy's awesome. Buy your domains from whoever you want. GoDaddy, Bluehost, whoever you want. Do we have any new agents here, or that you haven't got a domain yet? Anybody? So if we have some, I'll just type in about domain purchases if you haven't done that yet. Okay, so no. Okay, then let's continue. So we'll try and get out of here on time. The real cost of doing nothing is the money you aren't going to make. This is again all about CRMs and proper business setup, the missed opportunities that you'll never know. And sometimes people do know, right? I've talked to clients and say, you've been around for a while, you're not keeping in touch. I had a client who just said, I'm losing probably $250,000 a year because you're not keeping in touch with your clients. That's a lot of money to not be set up properly, okay? All right, so we'll send you follow-ups. You don't have to go here, but here's where our Facebook group is. We'll always post stuff into here. We'll always notify people at streamlineagents.com, and it'll go to our Facebook group, and you just have to answer a couple questions. We are going to do a strategy call if you want me to look at your systems. Again, you got to be a top producer. You got to be willing to change. If you're not willing to change, then it's a waste of our time, because I want you to be successful and I want you to be able to do that top-down business system setup, okay? And now, so we'll put this in the link as well. I think Ray did that already. And then I think we started doing this, and I think it's cool if someone's brave enough for me to review your online presence. So what I find, again, of helping agents for many years is that you set it and forget it, and you never look at it again, and you don't realize all the things that don't work or are incorrect when people go and try and find you. Are you losing business because of it? Probably. All right. So if you want me to review the first person who puts their name in, I'm going to go and look at your stuff. So let me just go through the questions again. I was about to buy Office 365 and email setup. Should I hold off? Yeah, you should book an appointment and we can talk about why that is not a good idea. Okay. Okay, Stephen, you are it. Now, I'm going to do Stephen. That didn't sound good. Again, I'm going to review Stephen's site. Not his site, his presence, but I want you to do the same thing. Okay. After the call, because you'll see what I'm going to look at. I want you to do the same thing. All right. Okay. You ready? So let me, Stephen, okay, Stephen, I go, wow. Now, sometimes that's a fairly common name. I may not be able to see which one. Is this you, Stephen? Are you the Edmonton one? Yes. Okay, perfect. Let me just see. Okay. Okay. So basically what I always try and help agents with is that you don't know how you might be losing business just by mucked up things. So if you don't mind, I'm going to be brutally honest about what I find, and I want you to fix it. Okay. So we're going to do this on every webinar. If I have enough time, I might do 2. I don't know. It just depends on how mucked up I find things. So let's pretend that Stephen just did a listing presentation for someone and some other agent. So what I would do if I was smart, I'd go, oh, let me go check out Stephen. Okay. So good, your site comes up. So this is how I look at stuff. So I go open link in new tab, I right click, this is all the same. This is your listings and contact. Here's the Remax one. I'm gonna right click and open a tab. Here's your LinkedIn one, open new tab. I don't know if that's you or not, but here's global Remax. Okay, so I just kind of look at, oh, here's not open link in new tab. So that's kind of what I would do. So I go into here first. And I would look at this, and one of the things that I did notice, Stephen, is that, and I'm a stickler for Remax is capital, RE/MAX is all in caps. That it is not spelled this way. In your signature, it should be proper, and anywhere that we find it, it should be properly written out. Okay. Okay. So I look at this, and the first thing I do is, what's this live count? That's weird. Okay, so I don't like that. I'm going to get myself out of the way here. And how many times do people log in or sign up? And this is for all you guys. Why would I log in or sign up? What am I signing up for? What do I get? I bet you've never, and I know you said this is new, but for you guys that have a newsletter and you say, sign up for my newsletter, why? Have you ever had anybody sign up? You have to entice me. Why? What am I going to get if I sign up for your newsletter? Okay. Oh, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I'm going to be brutal. Okay. So we go down here. That's, again, what's this? It looks sloppy. I'm just going to say, when there's errors like this, it looks sloppy. So there's nothing here. There's nothing here. It just looks sloppy. And so if I was looking at somebody else, right, the other person, and theirs is all slick and links are working, I mean, it might just be the tipping point if I liked you both, right? Okay. And what I also know that a lot of times agents do, and I don't know, I'm not going to read everything, but a lot of times agents, they pick a theme on it through a real estate website hosting company, and they don't personalize it. So you might have, I don't know, but so I'm not going to read this, but you should go to every single page, and you also should look at your page analytics. Like, less is more nowadays. Like, has anyone ever gone to, I don't know, sellers reports? I don't know, but let's just say why have it if they don't? Okay. So it might be great information. This is, I'm just saying off the top of my head, you want to, less is more. About Edmonton. So great. So we want to make sure that, does everything look good? You got the populations. Great. That looks good. Just quickly looking at that's awesome. Edmonton culture. Great. Okay. So then let's go over here. So Remax. I don't see the brokerage address, and I believe, now I don't know every area, but I know it's by law here that we have to have the brokerage info. Oh, sorry, it's here. here. So it's Remax Real Estate is, I guess, your brokerage, and that's the brokerage address. Perfect. When I email, you're going to make me go here and not email directly. So you're going to make me, now this is my own pet peeve. And this looks, again, messages, you know, over here. I don't know why it shows that, but I don't like it when people make me fill out a form. You might have lost me, okay? This looks sloppy on the left-hand side, right? It's not consistent. This is left justified. This is center justified. It's all little things. But it's probably because you just haven't looked at it in a while. So everybody, even my site, we look at it every six, because we change things and a link isn't working. You know what I mean? So then we're going to go over here. So I'm going to tap on here and tap on all your social platforms, which I found also online, right? And what I consistently see is people put up stuff. Okay, so that's great. We always want it to open in a new tab, okay? So that's great. And why? Because maybe I wanted to go look up something still on here, and now if it just changed inside, that's not good, right? So that's broken. That's not good. Pinterest, you know, if you don't really use, and now I don't know, but if you don't really use a platform, I just stop marketing, advertising, because it's just more stuff you have to do. Let's go back here. Oh, where are we? Twitter. Only approved followers. So I don't know why you do that, but maybe you do it for a reason, but I wouldn't do that. Let's just tap on here. Good. Sometimes links are broken inside here. So what I also recommend on social platforms is that you want to make it easy for me, right? So let's say I'm following you on Twitter and I remember, oh, that guy, I want to call him. So now to call you, I have to tap on here. I might be on my mobile device. No, what? No. Oh, I just get mad about that. Because you know what I mean? Okay, so so I guess maybe I have to tap on, I don't know why the LinkedIn thing would be here, but I'd have to tap on here and then I'd have to go find the phone number. Great. Okay, I would find it here. But wouldn't it be just better to have your information here? And I would not say this for any other industry, but you guys have your stuff everywhere. So I would put your phone number, your brokerage here, your email, and your website on all the different platforms without having to go to every single platform. Okay, does that make sense? So here, can I easily, like websites, okay, perfect. And you got your YouTube channel, perfect. And I don't know what that is, but I assume that's something to do with business. So let me just go back. Okay, here, good. About, so on Facebook, oh, I can't even see your about. So no about, your about page should be filled out, your about profile, so I know more about you. If I'm a Facebook user, I can go and see, oh, sorry, it's delayed. Okay, perfect. So now you're confusing me, Stephen, because there's this stephenlau.ca and you've got the YEG, let me just grab this. So what I would have done at some point is gone here. Hopefully that's redirected. Okay, that's redirected to LinkedIn. That should be redirected to your actual website. So you know what I mean? Like this is just really quick that are people confused by links that you have across your platforms, right? You don't want to confuse me. Could I have just gone, oh my God, this is so confusing, forget it, I'm gonna go with the other guy. We don't know. That's the thing. I know I would have been lost a while ago. Okay, yes, I can. Let me just, you're saying, let me just do this, copy. We'll do this one. Oops, hold on. Cut. Any questions, you guys? You got to look at your stuff. Oh my goodness, I did not do
Darci, I have a question from Susan while you go through that.
Yep.
What website provider is your favorite? I'm not happy with my provider right now and I'm looking to change. I also want someone to manage it for me so I can provide some material and they upload video, manage listing, etc.
Yeah, so you know what, they're all similar. I would say you want to go with a company that, you know, there's a lot, like for the US, I think Incom's a big one. In Canada, we've got Ubitor, My Real Page, Realty Ninja. They're all very similar. The costs are similar. if you're talking about custom sites, there's some great Bricksworks is one that's in Vancouver for custom sites. But I actually don't think that it is, you know, you just have to show a presence. And I think less is more. I really do. And so this one, yeah, so visit our alternate site. This would confuse me. Why would you have two sites? And maybe there's a reason, Stephen. So this does feel better to me, this site. Yep, there you are, Stephen. And then you've got the Stephen Lau. So again, my question would be, you should set up a consult with me just to look at this, because again, if you own a domain and that is the domain you're using, why you should have all your other stuff that you've ever had redirected to that domain, and then have it properly configured. But just a question, why wouldn't you be using Stephen, if I know you just said this is new, but why wouldn't you be using Stephen at albertahomepros.ca rather than the Stephen at stephenlau.ca? You know what I mean? It just gets confusing when you've got multiple email addresses, and if people go, okay, well, I'll go to there and check them out, and then yours goes to LinkedIn, which doesn't make sense to me. It should be redirected to, at the very least, to your whatever website you're going to use. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, branding, but are you not brand? Then why aren't you using this as the domain? You know what I mean? So yeah, set up a time and I'll specifically kind of look at that. And then it just personal preference. I don't know if I like the red stars up there. Yeah, I find it a little distracting, but it's personal preference. So I would again go through every single thing. You know, I see people blogging and they don't really blog. It's real estate stats. That's not blogging. You seem to have a blog, so that's good. But if you're posting your listings, that is not a blog. Okay. So, or people have done nothing. So that's another thing. If I go, oh, okay, well, what do they blog about? And then there's nothing on this page. Well, I might go, well, that's weird. It just seems sloppy, right? So then I would go, it might just change my mind. So I do think less is more on web. Does that help you guys to really be thoughtful in where your stuff is, and to every 6 months we go back and look, because we break links and things don't work, or someone tells us, hopefully, if you ever see anything broken on mine, please tell me. But you just don't know, right? Because you've done stuff. So we try and look at all sites that we manage every 6 months, at the very max every year, and go through. Same with our CRM drips. We look at them every 6 months, 8 months, something like that, because we might have said something and stuff changes, or COVID, you might want to add something, like stuff changes in life. So you always want to review your things. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. Was that pretty good, Stephen? And I'm sorry, I apologize in advance. Okay. All right. So we did the review already. We have another webinar coming up May 28th. We're going to talk about cloud storage in more detail. You guys are here, so you'll be notified about it as well. So any other questions? I know we've we're 10 minutes over. Any other questions that I can help with?
Oh, well, there's a follow-up question from Susan regarding the website provider earlier.
Yeah.
She says, I use Uber Tour and they are not proactive. I have to ask them to do everything. Things are always getting messed up and I have to chat them to fix.
Yeah, so I like Realty Ninja and my real page because I think it's, Susan, that you're in Canada, right? Or in the Western region. I actually don't know. I can't go back and see, but I think because you're using Uber Tour, that's probably why I do. I think check them out. Support for me is one of the key things. So I really like, though we're switching to my real page for other reasons for our Kelowna website. We're keeping the Vancouver website with Realty Ninja. I really, 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 really like Realty Ninja's support. They have a live chat. I just like how their support is. My real page is still good. It's just not, I find it not as, they're both good. You know what I mean? Like it just depends. And again, they're all very similar. You pick a theme, but you have to change initially when you're creating websites, you have to go in and edit every page. You have to delete a page you don't want. You have to edit it and make it sound like Stephen or Terry or me. Ray might do a page for me, but I have to update it because he isn't me and he doesn't sound like me. You know what I mean? don't just leave themes as is, because that means that everybody else who's left it as is as well doesn't help in your search either, the search rankings. Okay. Okay, let's just see. I think we're good. Perfect. Okay, you guys, then we are out. We will record this. I'm going to put it in both, all different spots. It'll be in YouTube. It'll be in our business page. It'll be in the group and the CIFA group as well. So you can rewatch this if you like. And again, we'll follow up with you guys to watch that webinar, join our Facebook group, as well as book a 30-minute free consult, complimentary consult. If you qualify, top producer, you're willing to change, I'd love to chat. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Signing out. Thanks for joining me today, you guys, and have a good, safe weekend. No, it's not a weekend. I don't even know what day it is. What day is it? It is almost the weekend. Oh my goodness. Okay. We'll talk to you later. Bye.